Short review of food chains and food webs, how energy and matter move through an ecosystem. Two primary types of food chains, terrestrial, or those on land, and aquatic, those in water. Food chains are easy to identify because of the single path that you see on the screen. The terrestrial has the plant being eaten by the grasshopper, being eaten by the mouse, being eaten by the snake, being eaten by the raptor. And in the aquatic, you can see the phytoplankton being eaten by the zooplankton, and then the fish, and then the bigger fish, and then not a fish or a whale to be the top of the food chain. And the arrows show the direction of the passage of energy and matter. But a food web shows all the possible food chains. So you could follow a number of arrow paths through this to see potential food chains. You could have the tree, the giraffe to the lion, the tree, the rhino to the lion, the tree, the rhino to the raptor, or grasshopper, all the way up to the vulture again. So webs look a bit like webs, and chains look a bit like chains, and it just in the end is all there to show you the paths that energy and matter can pass in an ecosystem. The roles that things take in food chains and food webs. The first one is a producer, and it's simple. Producers produce. They produce organic matter using photosynthesis. It makes that available to consumers who consume. Anything that eats something else is a consumer. And eventually all those things die and become decomposed by decomposers. The general rule in ecology is the 10% rule, that as you start down at the bottom of an energy pyramid, only 10% of the available energy ends up being passed on to the next level. So the producers here at the bottom go to the primary or first consumers, the first eaters, and then 10% of them get passed on to, or their energy gets passed on to secondary, which means 10% of 10%, or only 1% of the energy from the original production or producers gets passed on, and then only 10% of that, or 0.1% of the original amount, reaches the top of the food chain. And as humans delve into solving food problems, we're going to have to keep our energy pyramids pretty short. We're going to have to, in order to feed the world, there'll be a lot of primary producer and maybe initial consumers, but farming second and third level consumers isn't going to pay off well in the end.